Good evening, everybody, and welcome along to VSL Season 6. This is round number 2, and we head to Interlagos for the Brazilian Grand Prix. It has hosted many title decides in the past, so it's not usually the round 2 of the championship. One famous year where it was round 2 or round 3 of the championship was in 1993. Ayrton Senna actually won that year as well, which was amazing to see as well. And it's one of the shortest laps on the calendar, 4.3 kilometers long, 15 turns, 5 to the left and 10 to the right. And we've got a few DRS zones, one at the start, finish straight, and one after turn 3 at the center S. I'm sure it's going to make for some great overtaking opportunities. Now, if you missed last week's race in Mexico, then where have you been? It was an absolutely fantastic race. We saw Kyle took his first win, well, the first win of the season in quite dominant fashion actually as well, in first place with Red Matt, who finished second. And basically this is the order of what it finished last week. Bankai in third, Matta finished 4th, Pete finished 5th, Niels finished 6th, Lee, who unfortunately can't make it tonight, finished 7th. Brandon finished 8th. Ryan finished 9th. And Joey finished 10th. We have Newgarden finished 11th. And Brad getting the final point in 12th place. And there's also quite a few people that got the fastest lap as well, which is quite nice. We got Ahmed in 13th, Logan, Iceman, Kev, Acorn, Risky, and Ryan, and Dave yet to score. Now, as you may not know, for those of you that didn't watch the last stream, everyone is split into 5 teams. There's 4 drivers per team, and VSL Pink came out on top after last week with having Red Matt in 2nd, Niels in 6th, Rannon in 8th, and Yuri in 10th. So they got 41 points. Yellow is on 38 points in 2nd. Blue is on 26 points in 3rd. Green is on 15 points in 4th. And in last place with them is VSL Red by only getting 8 points. With only 2 drivers scoring there as well. And even though 2 drivers scored in blue, due to Carl's win, it promoted him back up to the top, as it were, as well. So there's quite a few interesting facts about Brazil as well. Michael Schumacher is the most successful driver in Interlagos, having won 4 times. And Sebastian Vettel would have been able to equal that last season, but we didn't race in Brazil. So there we go. So we're about to get started with the race. Don't forget, it's a one-shot qualifying, so these drivers have only 1 shot to get their qualifying right. And just a quick mention of who's filling in for Lee tonight. We got Jamie filling in for Lee, also known as J-Luke. So good to have him on board. He'll be filling in for Team Yellow. So I'm expected to see Yellow in his livery, but because I'm nice, I won't be following him in the session, so he can fact me later. Anyway, also just an interesting fact as well, the top 3 from last race will be going on a mandatory 2-stop strategy. So that is Carl, Red, Matt, and Bankai. So they can't do a 1-stop. If they do a 1-stop, those 3, they will be disqualified. So everyone else from 4th downwards from last week, they will be able to do a 1-stop as usual. So there's the 2-stop strategy, it'll be soft, medium, soft, and the 1-stop strategy for everybody else, it will be soft, medium, or medium to soft. So there we go. So that was just to clear things up a little bit for those of you that don't know. So we are about to get started very, very shortly. Everyone's about to ready up as well. Let us know in the chat, are you rooting for tonight? We got quite a few people that are rooting for green. There was one person that was rooting for blue. Someone wanting Bradders to do well as well, Brandon. A few Gavin fans in the chat as well. It's great to see as well. So let's get started with the session then. So here we go. We are a nice sunny day at the moment here in Brazil. And it's going to be interesting, I have to say, where there's going to be probably quite a lot of invalidations. In particular, I would say, heading into the center S's just before, like, the middle of turn 2 into turn 3. I've invalidated quite a few times there as well. And it's just caught people off guard as well. And I have to say, the twisty turns between turn 7, 8, 9, and 10, and then heading in towards 11 as well. That's going to be interesting as well. So let's go on board with the person on the hot lap, and randomly picked this week by the game is Akon. So heading towards turn number 1 then, now heading to 2 and 3 into the center S's. No invalidation for him at the moment, right? Arriving at almost 200 miles per hour then, going into 8th gear. Moving to the right-hand side a bit, braking just before the 100 meter board, and you're now going to be heading into turn 4. A bit blinded as you head towards the little kink of turn 5, as it were. Now heading in towards turn 6 and into turn 7. Move over to the left. Make sure you aim for the right apex heading into that corner as well. Then heading into the left a little bit. Just watch out for a few understeering moments around here, as a few people tend to miss their braking points here as well. Now, you're going to be heading towards just the start of set 3, which is quite short. Heading towards Junsao, which I think that's how you say the corner. You'll be arriving now at 3rd gear. Heading towards the final DRS straight. And you're going to be going full power here. Plenty at 200 miles per hour once again. And what lap times are going to be? It's going to be a 108.1, which puts him... I actually can't remember where he's been put. He's been put P8, so not too bad lap time for him. Let's hope he doesn't have a bad race, because both the one that I followed in the test race and the one that I followed in the first race had really bad races. So, yeah, let's just hope it doesn't happen here. Anyway, looking at your results then. So, Bankai got pole, but it's quite close between 1st and 2nd. Renmat got 2nd, only by 3 100s to Bankai, so it's going to be quite close. Brandon in 3rd. Carl, last week's race winner, in 4th. Matta in 5th. Niels in 6th. Kev in 7th. Akon, like we just said, is in 8th position. Newgarden in 9th. Ahmed in 10th. And then people outside the top 10 who got free choice of tyres. Gavin in 11th. Dave in 12th. Pete in 13th. Brad in 14th. Ryan Berry in 15th. Ryan in 16th. Iceman 17th. Risky 18th, J-Luke 19th, and Yuri in 20th. 4 people had their lap times invalidated, so not as many as I would have thought, but I'm guessing they were keeping it, some of them were keeping it cautious and just wanted to get a lap in anyway. So thank you guys for watching so far, and hopefully we can get a very good race on our hands. And it's quite overcast at the moment. That's going to be a huge effect on the tyres, because the softs are a lot better than the medium tyres around here in these overcast conditions. I've experienced it in many Brazil races in the past, where the mediums at the start, you're just so hard to warm the tyres up in the formation lap. So, and for those of you that didn't notice, Pete actually decided to qualify his lap on the mediums. I wonder if he would have been higher if he said his lap on the softs. Again, we'll have to wait and see, but I'm guessing he did not want to start on the soft tyres. He wanted to start on the medium tyres, which was very interesting to see as well. So we're going to also look at the pit stop strategy as well. Lap 14 to 16, if they were going on to the medium compound, the tyres, that is where we would expect. Maybe lap 13 for the potential undercut strategy. We'll have to wait and see. But if someone thinks that the softs are not good, maybe they may want to try softer hards. They want to do maybe pit lap 9 to 12 for the hard tyres. So it allows for a bit of flexibility as well, and there's 3 compounds of tyres used for today's race. We've got the C3s, which is the softs. They can last 16 laps. The medium to C2s, they can last 19 laps. And the hards, they can last 24 laps. And it's a C1, so the lowest compound of tyres, which are bringing into Pirelli range. And time lost per lap, 5/10 between the soft and the mediums, and a second between the softs and the hards, and as 5/10 between the mediums and the hards. So not quite much for difference, which in a way should provide some closer racing for all the drivers. So who's about ready to get started? I think it gives you a lot of time for people to get your cups of tea as well, maybe get some dinner as well, potentially out on the go, and get a snack ready as well. We're just about to get cracking then for the session. These guys have had a 2-minute, they're having a 2-minute wait so people can get their setups and strategies, and I can talk about stuff like the track, like the tyre strategy, etc. So because for the last few weeks there was one person who's been a very bad boy, and they got a penalty point for it. So looks like he's learnt from his lesson today. I believe it was Logan. So but I believe he's learnt his lesson from last week. So all is good on that front. And we can get cracking then. It's just hard to find what to talk about now because I basically talked about everything. But the 1994 Brazilian Grand Prix race was the last time an F1 race was won by over a lap. I doubt we're going to get that today because of how pretty much closer everyone is today. But you never know. anything can happen. We've seen quite a few surprises in a lot of races that I've commentated on. So we'll have to find out. Now, whilst I'm here, actually, I'm going to be retweeting the tweet because we are live now. So I want people to know that we are actually live. There we go. I've just done that. All jobs are good and there. I'm sure it's been more than 2 minutes. It just suddenly just goes a bit longer than I thought as well. Or they may just be waiting for the call to ready up. I don't have a clue. There we go. There's the timer. And the half, and they were just waiting for the host to ready up and give all the all clear. So that's probably why. So there we go. Who's your money on to win this race, ladies and gentlemen? Get your predictions in. I'm going to get my money. Well, it's going to be a close one because obviously we got 3 drivers. Kyle, Matt, Red Matt, and Bankai on the 2-slot strategy. Bankai and Red Matt are in the top 2. So that's going to be intriguing to say the least. They want to be making sure that they get a good view, basically a good start. If they have a bad start, then it's going to put their strategy very bad, to be honest with you as well. But I have to say, Brandon with a P3, that is good. The last time, actually, VSL actually raced around here, he actually won the race. So, technically, he's one of the favourites, and he has a lovely pink livery to match. Now, I went through pretty much all the liveries from last week, but since Jamie is reserving tonight, we didn't actually get a chance to see last week because he wasn't here. So let's have a look at what his livery is. Obviously, if you are a reserve, then you have to match your livery with the team you're reserving for. So it's not going to be the same every week. So let's go on board with Jamie as it's nice and yellow, which I think looks pretty good, to be honest, with a bit of black. Yeah, a bit of black. That's really nice. I like it. That's, again, a similar sort of style liveries that I've on in the past as well. So I'm a big fan of that with the way the stripes are laid out as well. They're pretty cool. But we're looking at the tyres that people chose for people outside the top 10. A little bit of a mixed bag. So we've got Pete on the mediums, Brad on the softs, Ryan Berry on the mediums, M. Ryan on the hards, Iceman on the softs, Risky on the softs, J. Luke on the mediums, and Yuri on the softs. And obviously everyone inside the top 10, they will be starting on the soft compound tyres. Gavin and Dave are also on the soft compound tyres as well. So, very intriguing to say the least in terms of strategy. But you never know what could happen, like I said. We are just about to get started. The 5 red lights will be coming up soon. 36 laps await our drivers tonight. And we are very much looking forward to this. We did see a weather change last week. It started off quite overcast last week. And then it went off to rain. Or it might have been the other way around. I can't remember, actually, what way around it was. Because I commentated on 2 Mexico races where it was just completely different last week. But anyway. As all the cars are lined up now. And here we go then. The 5 red lights are about to come on, but I can't really see them at the moment. There we go. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. Bankai's on pole with Red Matt alongside him. And we got a few jump starts. Actually, 1 jump start, but it is lights out. And away we go. Bankai's got a very good start heading towards turn 1. So did Red Matt as well. Brandon as well, maybe... Or maybe he got caught off guard, but he's got a good run into the centre S's to try and get past Red Matt. Let's see if there's any trouble heading towards the centre S's. Nope, there isn't at the moment. We do have a green car going side by side with someone, I believe is one of the Team Yellow cars, up for 11th position. But, yeah, decent start from the guys up front. No change, I think, for the top 4, because obviously Kyle qualified in 4th position. And apparently Carlos hardly had any practice, but to be honest, if you race quite a lot around it, you don't need to do much practice as well. As Gavin has just made his way past Newgarden up into 10th place. Iceman has just made his way past Bradley up in 2, as Bradley's actually dropped position. Quite a few people dropped positions actually as well, as there's contact between... Who was it? It was a green car, and so it was Bradley and Dave, I think it was, as well. Actually, no, it was just Bradley, I think, as well. So, yeah, that's not going to do his tyres any favour, I have to say. As Kev has to go and serve his drive-through now. So there he goes. So he comes in with, as well as the other car who also goes into the pits, J-Luke, who had damage, I think, on the first lap, which is not very good. He must have picked it off somewhere, which I didn't actually see. But I know Dave and Brad almost certainly were going to go into the pits as well. So apart from that, plain sailing for everybody else of the drivers. But we got a nice battle emerging between Acorn and Niels right now. So Acorn, I think, is right behind Niels, as Niels is got a sandwich. I think the DRS trade is definitely going to grow around here. The shorter the lap, the more DRS trades is going to be, and it's going to be hard for those pretty much everybody to overtake as well. And for some of these guys, in particular the ones on the two-stop strategy, they're going to hope for a little bit of rain, I have to say. As Bankai just set the fastest lap. Well, a few people set the fastest lap as well. A few people still trying to get a bit of temperature into their tyres as well. Now, a few drivers were saying that they were confident going into the race. Brandon, even though he won last race, they won the last time we were in Brazil, he wasn't feeling too confident. But with his pace, he's dropped down one position. I believe Mata got past him, and so did Kyle. So, he must have struggled in the first opening laps to get up to speed a little bit. Meanwhile, Bankai has pulled off a brilliant gap up front, around about 1.2 seconds over Red Matt. So, this is what he wants, obviously, because he'll have to pit earlier than everybody else as well. I can't remember when the two-stop strategy actually pits. I haven't written it down somewhere. So, I think my task every week is to also note down the two-stop strategy rule, because we always know 3 people are going to be on the two-stop strategy every week. So, you know, I will do my best to do some research on that as well, because usually I write the one-stop strategy. But anyway, we have got 4 laps already upon us, and Carl's really gained some speed, I think, on Red Map as well. The DRS open. It's getting quite darker and darker, but it's not going to affect Carl. He's used a lot of DRS, though. I think Red Map will probably notice it. Red Map is defending like crazy at the moment. Carl's got to probably try and go side by side into turn 6. Could he also get the switchback maybe as well? Nope, he can't. But Red Matt, I have to say, bravo to him for defending like that as well. That's probably what I would have done there. I had a battle around Brazil which lasted, I think, about 7 or 8 laps, and that was just absolutely insane. But if there's a track where I love having battles on, it's Brazil, because it can go on for ages. Like, everybody is usually on similar pace. Like, the laps are probably closer than everybody as well. As Davo goes into the pit again, so that is 2 stops for him. So he must have picked damage somewhere else as well. So, yeah, unfortunately, his day is not going too great. But there's still quite a bit of his race to go. So, yep, his front wing is changed. Meanwhile, Acorn and Niels going side by side. Acorn up into 6th, but Niels is going to get the DRS then. Heading towards turn 4, though. Acorn trying to make sure that Niels doesn't get any slipstream at all, which I think is very, very cheeky indeed. But sometimes that is what I tend to do as well. I don't like giving people slipstream as well. But sometimes I just like to get people slipstream if they don't give me slipstream. So here we go. Anyway, we got P and Risky having a battle for P14 as P gets past Risky. Risky's got a penalty already. I believe that's 3 seconds if I just check the timings. Yes, it is 3 seconds. He's the only driver to get a penalty so far. Didn't have a good race last week, but he's determined to learn from his ways and have a better race. Hasn't gone too good because obviously he didn't set a good lap in quali, and then in a race he didn't get to a good start getting main positions either. But again, sometimes in these conditions it's harder to get off the line if you're in the back. So sometimes you just have to live with it as well. 3 attempts. Carl is still on the bubble. This time, can he be even closer? We'll have to wait and see. He's even closer, actually. Let's see what he could do. Red defends to the right, and he again goes to the shortest line possible. He goes to the inside. He knows where Carl is going. These two have been racing for a long time, so they know their racing styles quite a lot. So, you know, it is to be expected. But I have a feeling that this battle is going to be going on for a very long time indeed. And also we've got Ryan Berry on the back of Pete as well. They're both on the medium tyres. Maybe Ryan Berry can find some speed potentially as well. We'll see in the red car. Now, it's a bit of a shame that some of the liveries, their main colour is black, where it actually isn't. It's the same when I run in another league where my livery is mainly red, but because I have a bit of black in it, it shows the primary colour black, which is weird, but it happens sometime on this game. But anyway, let's see what we could do then. Matter is also on the back of this as well, so because of those two battling every lap, it's allowing the train to just grow quite a lot. There we go then. Carl going for the move once again into turn 4, but it's looking like he's going to be a little bit more successful this time, which he does. So Carl is up into P2. And we do know Red Matt wants this back. He doesn't want Carl to get P2 that easily, but it was a very clean move from Kyle. Could he find 1.6 seconds over Bankai? It's going to be a tall order, but never say never. Carl is used to leading up the front, but to be honest, even if he finishes on the podium this week, it's still going to be a consistent form for him. So, you know, it's not going to be the end of the world, but he knows he wants to get as many wins as he possibly can as well. By the way, if you are liking the stream so far, don't forget to leave a like and also subscribe. Also turn notifications on so you know when to not miss a video or stream. And also on Twitter, we also tell you when we go live as well. So if you want to follow us on Twitter, that is at VSL_F1, I think. I think I got it right. As Red Matt doesn't gain the traction on Carl, unfortunately, as Yuri picks up a penalty as well. Pete goes into the pits. Unfortunately, I think that was damage from him. Yes, it is damage. After he had a very good start. I think the tables have turned for him, sadly. But he comes out now on the softs, and there's no way those softs are going to make it to the end. So you'll have to pit once more later on in the race. He could go on for another set of softs if he wanted to as well. But we've also got potentially, I would say, Ryan Berry again on Gavin. But again, I would say Ryan Berry's gaining quite a bit on the corners now. And sometimes you have to balance your setup a little bit more around here, because sometimes, like in the center S's, you have to have a little bit of straight line speed. But in the twisty sections of, I would say, I'll talk about that in a minute actually. As here comes Ryan Berry for the move on Gavin, and does Gavin defend to the left. Gavin's right on the inside line. It's going to be close. Usually if you get caught on the inside line, you may get sent into a spin. But Gavin's having none of that, and he kept it clean as well. We got Risky as well right on the back of this. Could potentially get both of them actually. He's going to think, hang on, if I can't get the move, or I think he had to back off a little bit, but oh, look at this. He's punching his fist. He's like, oh my goodness, I want to get this move done now. But you gotta be careful you don't send each other to spin. They're still going for it. Oh, that was a late breaking move from Risky, I have to say. But, you know, he wants to gain as many positions as he possibly can as well. It's going to be very, very tight, I have to say, from the drivers. 4/10 is a gap between Risky and Gavin now, so anything can happen. And now Carl has gained a massive chunk of time between himself and Bankai. He's within DRS range now, so it must mean that Carl is consistently quicker compared to Bankai. I don't know what his last lap was, but I have to say, fair play to Carl for getting, I think it's from 3rd or 4th to all the way up into 2nd. So, you know, he is doing all he can at the moment. But you can't become complacent. You can't become complacent. Meanwhile, Risky and Gavin, they're fighting once again in the turn 4. Oh my God. That was so close. It might have just been a twitch there for my end. It probably is a twitch my end, as there was a few dropped frames. But unfortunately, that was a bit of a front wing missing from Risky and Gavin, I think, as he's gone into, unfortunately, a little bit of a spin, sadly. So that means they both have to go into the pits. Now, we've got a few pit stops. Bankai, Carl and Bedmat, all drivers are on the 2 stop. They're pitting now. And they're going on to the mediums. So they want to get their first stop done nice and early. Which, to be honest, I don't blame them. So Carl comes out. He's going to come out. I think Bankai's probably benefited from it as well. So unless Carl can gain a few temps, basically all the ones on the 2 stop are going to hope if it's going to rain, which could be possible, but I doubt it. So Mata is your leading 1 stop runner. For Brandon in second, Acorn in third. Not going to say anything more about Acorn because you know what happened last week with Risky. As Gavin goes into the pit, we've got Ahmed in 5th position. 6 temps separating between him and Niels then, so he's going to find the gap. Niels comes in then. That's a bit early if he's doing the 1 stop, so let's hope he hasn't picked up any damage. Which he hasn't, so it's a straight, I would say, quite a big strategy call, because he's not on the 2 stop. He started on the soft, so is he also doing the 2 stop strategy as well? That is very interesting. So I thought, if you were to pit now, I'm almost certain you would have gone onto the hard compounded tyres, so I'm a bit bewildered, it's a bit weird, but it happens. Sometimes you may be used to doing 2 stops in other leagues that you forget that you can do 1 stop here. So that is probably what he has done, potentially. But again, we will have to wait and see as it develops, of course. And you can see Bankai is caught to the back of the soft train, which I think is very crucial. So I think it's going to get to a point where the mediums are probably the same delta as the softs now. So the ones on the soft do need to get a move on. So Bankai's got to get past some traffic. Risky getting another time penalty. Bankai to the inside. Will Carl do the same? Nope, he's being forced to stay behind Yuri at the moment. Which unfortunately is quite sad, but we'll have to wait and see. Carl maybe gets the cut back. There he goes, no trouble there for Kyle. And he's now chasing down Bankai for the lead of this race. But yet again, they'll still have to make 1 more stop. Redmat, unfortunately, is not catching up to the other 2 guys on the 2 stop strategy as much as he would have liked. But again, there's still a lot of this race still to go. We're not even halfway into this race yet. So there's still quite a lot of things to think about. And we've got the first of the 1 stoppers that may be going for the mediums, pitting potentially. As nope, he's not. He's going for the hards. Okay, so Brandon's going for the playing it safe strategy, I would say. I think he must have done a lot of practice and thought that maybe the softs was not, the mediums was not the best tyre for him, so he's going for it. So was Ahmed as well. And I have a feeling Mata, Acorn and Ugarden will stay on the mediums. Iceman is being passed by Bankai, but can he be passed by Kyle? We shall see. I think traffic, I would say, in these races is crucial, especially if you're on the 2 stop strategy, because you've got to get past more traffic And if you get held up in a lot of the race, then you're going to be in huge trouble. So, Carl needs to get a move on ASAP. And I think Red Matt too. Red Matt's caught to the back of Yuri now. So, but to be honest, I may argue in a way that if you're on the medium tyres, maybe you're still fighting for position. So technically you can still do that. But if you're on the same strategy, then maybe you will have to let each other through. My opinion on this is a coin tosser at this point. But we'll see. Anyway, Red Matt gets past Yuri comfortably there. Iceman goes into the pits as well. On the hard tyres. I thought he would have gone for the softs, but lap 14 to 16, I thought they would have gone for the softs, but it looks like Iceman has got held up a little bit there in the pits, which is not good. So I'm almost certain then the top three will be going on to the mediums, as Niels pits himself a time penalty. So more drivers are getting time penalties at the moment. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 drivers picking themselves time penalties, or having time penalties in general anyway. Which is not good. And the gap between Mata and Acorn, 11 seconds. So Matt is controlling the race out of the ones who've yet to stop so far. So for him, it doesn't matter when he pits. The pit loss around here, if I just check my little data, it's around the 18.5 second loss. So I would probably, if I get the gap leader, come out just behind Red Matt, I think. Or maybe in between Red Matt and Yuri. So yeah. So I think if Mata wants to pit, he wants to pit now. Because I'm almost certain that the undercut is powerful, but again, we'll have to wait and see on that front. Yuri, I think, hasn't pitted either. And he's getting caught up in a lot of traffic. He's losing a lot of time, and he's gaining, I think, more heat into his tyres as well. His rears are going to be absolutely dying at this moment in time. So that is potentially worst case scenario for Yuri, as Brandon gets past him. And your current on-track race leader, Mata, is in the pit lane. Onto the mediums, as I would have thought. Acorn, I think, potentially is going to do the same. So that will promote Bankai into the leader's race with Carl in second. And let's watch this battle then unfold. I think Carl's going to get very closer this time on the mediums. I wonder why Carl has used a lot more ERS at the start of the race, because I've noticed that it's a lot harder for the drivers to recharge their batteries around it. So we'll see how they cope with the change. As Pete, unfortunately, gets a 3-second time penalty. So more time penalties once again. Mattis on the back of Matt as well. So we've got two of the Matts alongside each other. Don't forget, Matta was last season's champion. He's looking to make it another one this season. However, there is still a long way in this season to go, as Risky, unfortunately, has been lapped already. He's been having a lot of mistakes. He's had to pick quite a few times this race. But the only way is up from here, from Risky's point of view. But anyway, Matta then. Is he going to comfortably get past Red Matt? I think he does. I don't think Red Matt challenges him, which I'm quite shocked about. Maybe due to the fact that Matta's on newer tyres and obviously Red Matt will have to pit again. So that's probably why. But I thought Red Matt, the keen man himself, would challenge him. But no. I like to see some racing. Come on, Red Matt. You could have, defended for your life, but maybe the tyres did not let you do that, unfortunately, which is a shame, but it happens. As Carl now takes the lead this race. With Bankai in second now. So I missed that, and I do apologise. But I think Bankai is still going to stay on. I think Bankai is still going to stay on Carl's gearbox, I would say, at some point. It's going to be the moment where Bankai's been saving all his errs, and he's going to put it to full use now. Good use. And there he goes there. I think this is going to be the advantage, and he doesn't even need to use the ERS. He's going to try and go for the move anyway. As Matters also maybe potentially quite up to the back of those soon as well. These two keep fighting. So that's going to be a danger point, I would say, between these two. As I think Carl's gained a bit of time now. So it's going to be, I would say, easier said than done for him. As the sun is getting a little bit brighter, so the threat of rain is not happening. So it looks like it's going to be a dry session for the rest of the race, which for me is, I would say, a relief, because I hate rain around Brazil. It doesn't make things very interesting. So in a way, they could concentrate on giving it their all and stuff like that. Or it may just be that the sun was there for a long time, but I'm definitely seeing more sun peeking towards the final corner. So has there been any surprises that you've seen so far in this race? Let us know in the chat. Gavin, meanwhile, is in 17th place. He's been on those soft for 7 laps. He's got some clear air though, and he's not catching up to Kev, unfortunately. I have to say we have 2 team captains in the top 5. We've got Brandon in 5th and Carl who's leading. So obviously Kev not doing well low down. We've got Pete who's in 13th. So I have to say J-Luke is doing well in 11th, but yet again he has to pit as well. But he's going to be on fresher tyres at the end of the race. So don't count J-Luke out at the moment. But meanwhile, let's watch out for the battle for the lead again. And it starts to get very intense as I'm commentating this. And we shall see who is going to rise to the occasion then. As we've got, I would say, and Bankai does not challenge it. Bankai does not challenge and go for the move. To be honest, I'm a bit shocked about that. But you can see he's got Matt behind as well. So again, a bit of a threat than before. As we got Ryan Berry into the pits then for the soft. Now that's very early. But J-Luke gets round past the inside of Ahmed then into P9. But is Ahmed going to challenge him for P9 once again? J-Luke doesn't want Ahmed to get any slipstream at all. He was like, nope, I'm having none of that. So, but it's good that with Ahmed on newer tyres and J-Luke's got past. Amazing stuff. But again, J-Luke's on the mediums, Ahmed's on the hards. Newgarden also gets past him in the tricky little chicanes and hairpins coming up as well. So all this midfield battle is very close, and with the amount of penalties that people got, again, penalties can decide, or could decide actually, someone's race. Which for me, sometimes I hope it doesn't, if I do get penalties, because Brazil is usually a place where I do pick up the most penalties. Anyway, Niels goes into the pits for the medium tyres. So I think he realises that he should have done what he done earlier on and went on the mediums. But at least he's on the mediums until the end of the race now. That promotes Pete up into 11th position. And I was getting an interesting view of the pit box as well, which I didn't really want that. But anyway, Newgarden now. I think we're going to start to see why Newgarden's mediums are definitely better than J-Luke's mediums. There's more penalties coming once again. We're on lap 22. We're pretty much halfway now. We're almost into the final third of the race. Not quite though. We'll be in the final third very, very soon. But this race has gone very, very quickly so far. And the next race we go to, I'm sure people are going to be, I would say, there's probably some people that like it, some people that hate it, and a lot of pressure to do well as well. As J-Luke goes in for his one and only stop. Onto the soft he goes. The softs can last about 16 laps here. So I think that's what it is. Yep, 16 laps. I was correct. I did remember something right for a change. So there we go. J-Luke goes onto the softs now until the end of the race. And you can see Yuri and Iceman having a scrap there in the S's. The S's kind of remind me of like Britain and also Vietnam as well. But anyway, here comes Yuri on Iceman. Right races to the left. Right, sorry. Getting my left and right mixed up. But anyway, Yuri then is going to try. They both try and leave as much space as they possibly can. But again, it's still quite tight heading towards turn 6. Now heading into turn 7 as Davo has left the session. Heading towards turn 8. And then 9, 10 and 11 soon. I mean, I always struggle around here getting the corners right. It's just hard to nail. Sometimes you just get caught up in, I would say, so many spins. It's just an absolute nightmare. But anyway, Yuri is really doing very well to recover from his poor race so far. But, you know, he's starting in the back, don't forget. So in a way, it's been a good race for him so far. Even though he wanted a top 10 finish. But don't forget, the top 12, they get points. They get points in this league for the top 12. And there we go then. We've got, I believe it's Yuri getting the move on the inside of Iceman. Very well controlled from Yuri. And Yuri's up to 11th position as well. And let's watch the battle for the lead as I think Bankai's caught up on Carl. Yes, he has. Side by side into turn 1. There you go. Nicely done, says Bankai. Bankai doing a see you later. But is Carl going to fight back? Which I have a feeling he's going to. But I don't think he's going to do it this lap. Or maybe Carl wanted the DRS in the first place. So that's probably why he wants to do that in the first place. But again, we will find out in due course causes of that effect. As Kev goes into the pits, I believe, for his final stop. Or it might have been a change in front wing potentially as well. But at least you'll be on the soft. So don't forget, 2 points will be gained if you get the fastest lap. And that counts if you're in any of the positions, as long as you finish the race, of course. So if you're pretty much in another part and you're not going to gain many positions anyway, why not pit for the softs? Anyway, Bankai and Kyle pitted for their final stops now, and that was very close from Kyle to get a 5-second penalty, but it wasn't. So, phew. Anyway, they go in. So that promotes Matt to the race lead. And Red Matt, again, the final person on the 2-stop, he will have to pit soon as well. Let's hope he remembers. Which he should do anyway. But it's not a problem. But we'll see. I would say Carl lost a bit of time actually in the pits. He's got caught in some traffic, I think, to Acom. Could Carl get past? Yes, he can. So Carl's up to 5th. Bankai's up to 4th. So if the softs work out the way it does, maybe they can catch up to the top half after all. Maybe the 2-stop strategy could work around here. But they are quite fast. And you never know. If they do this again, if they finish in the top 3 again, and they will have to start on the 2-stop again. Which, around Silverstone, which is where we are next week, it's not the most ideal of races. But anyway, we got a battle, I would say, for 11th as J-Luke gets past just before Jung Sao. Well, I think it's just into Jung Sao. I always get confused with those corners once again. Anyway, J-Luke up to 11th position. He's on the soft as well. And can he catch up what he needed with the Delta to get past as well? You know, right, Yuri's going to challenge it. Oh, there was a late switch from both of them. Yuri had to stick to the line because otherwise he would have turned in on Jamie, which luckily he did not. Here comes Yuri then. He's taken a long way around, but it seems. But he's going to try and stick the line that he can. He wants J-Luke to drop down a position, but unfortunately that's not going to happen. J-Luke gets 11th. Iceman's also in this fight. So is Ryan. So is Pete. So is Kev. No, not Kev. Kev 16.3 seconds back, but we shall see. And Bankai sets the fastest lap at the moment. So the way this stands, Bankai will get an extra 2 points. Ryan's on the back of Iceman now. There's just so many battles happening at the moment at the late stages of the game, which is great to see for these drivers. Let's see what M. Ryan can do. Iceman is on a charge, but Ryan is probably got the benefit of the softer tyres. So down the outside he goes. Oh my goodness. You two will probably have to keep it cleaner. Pete may just be thinking, hang on, I can capitalise on this if anyone make a mistake. If you can't do it, I can. So Pete gets past Iceman. He's also on the soft tyres, so to be honest, it was to be expected. And we're seeing the gaps, I think. Bankai's not catching up to the top three as they would have liked. I'm a bit worried that Red Matt has forgot about the two-stop because he is not pitted yet. Anyway, Carla just got past Bankai into turn 1. And I think it looked like quite an easy move there. It didn't look like he was challenging that much, I have to say. But, you know, they want to have a little bit of fun. And Carl and Bankai are still going to get some good points out of all of this. So not all is lost for these two. Like I said, consistency is what helps you win the championship. It is as simple as that. And Yuri gets a 3 seconds. So the seconds are pretty much... I'm surprised a lot of people are getting penalties today. But again, it's quite a short lap. They're pushing the track limits by quite a lot. So maybe it is to be expected. But we shall see. As Red Matt has not forgotten. Thank goodness. He was just waiting till the last possible moment. Maybe because he wanted to get the fastest lap point. Oh. Did Red Matt get a stock go? I think he must have done. When did he get that stock go? Did he... Wait, did he speed in the pit lane? Let me check. Race director, let me look at Red Matt. Yeah, he got a 5-second time penalty. Lap 10, but I thought he would have served it in his first pit stop. Interesting. Very interesting. Well, he's on the soft tyres now. And he's demoted down to 8th position. Carl's gaining a lot of time to Brandon now. But we do know there's probably going to be a second different winner. By the way, Matt's pace is going at least. Because Matt's pace, I have to say, is absolutely fantastic at the moment. He likes his track as well. He said that to me quite a few times. He was feeling pretty confident. So, you know... And if you just give me a second, Fluky, I will do that. I actually... I can't. I could do this, though. I could do that for the time being. And then if he causes trouble, then then I will ban him. But I don't know how to ban him, sadly. Sad times. But we'll see what happens. We've got yellow flag set to 3. Who was that? Did someone bin it? It was either one of these people. Iceman, Kev, Yuri. I don't know. It wasn't Iceman anyway, because it was a little bit too further back. So it might have been Kev or Yuri. Or Risky. Actually, it might have been Risky, actually. It's hard to tell who gets the yellow flag because some of them obviously got similar colours. It's just difficult, but we shall see. So not that long to go until the end of the race. Gap's coming down now between Brandon and Matt. It was 11 seconds. Now it's 10 seconds. And I'm actually being surprised that there was been no VSCs or no safety cars, which just go to show, excuse me, that these drivers are keeping it clean. And I have to say, will Carl catch up enough to get that 3-second buffer that he needs to get second? No matter what happens anyway, Carl is going to be in the top 3 anyway, again. So for the second race in a row, he'll be doing the 2-stop. As he gets past him. He gets past the ghost car anyway. What penalties has people got? Let's give a quick rundown. So, Brandon's on 3. Bankai's also on 3. Akon's on 3. Ahmed's on 3. Niels is on 3. Niels is on 6, sorry. Jamie's on 3. Ryan's on 3. Pete's on 6. Iceman's on 9. Kev's on 3. Roy Racer's on 9. Gavin's on 3. Brad's got 14 seconds. I don't know how. Dave's on 3. And Risky's on 18 seconds. Risky in last place. Not where he wants to be, but at least I wasn't following on a lap this week. So you can't blame the hot lap curse for that one there, Risky. Because I wasn't following you. Gap now between Carl and Brandon, 2.9 now. So this could be the difference. So he could do all he can to get, and he will probably, by the way this is going, he will be extending his lead in the championship. I do believe, looking at the standings from last time, Mata finished 4th. So, and obviously, Kyle is going to finish 2nd. So yeah, Kyle will lead, and I think Mata will finish 2nd with Bankai in 3rd. I'm rubbish at maths, so if I'm wrong, I do apologise, because that's why I only got a C in maths, which is an equivalent to a 4 or 5 in the modern GCSEs. But I don't think it was a strong C, though. I think I just scraped a C. But we don't want to know that, do we? No, we don't. Well, you do now, but don't tell anyone. Anyway, Akon getting penalties, 6 seconds. So he's going to drop, I would say, down to, I think, 8th or 9th. Which is not good. But we're heading to the penultimate lap very soon. As Matt crossed the line for the penultimate time, or the start is lap for the penultimate time. With his lovely Brazilian helmet. And I believe he had his helmet as well. Brandon, I think, finished 8th last week. And he's certainly having a much better race this week. I mean, he is the king of Brazil. And I think he'll have to share that crown with Mata tonight. But I'm sure he won't mind. He'll climb himself his way up the championship anyway. I think he'll be behind just... I don't know. I'm not going to do any more maths. Pete's not going to... Pete's not going to score any points, I think, today. Lee obviously not here. Niels will get an extra few points. But it's going to be close, let's just say, between these guys, which makes it a little bit more interesting. And M. Ryan potentially could score his first points. Yeah, he can get his first points today, actually, which will be good for him. It will be everyone's dream when you start league racing is to get your first point as early as you possibly can. And then Ryan will be doing that in this race, which will be good to see. So, we're on the final lap now. Lap 36 out of 36. And Matt has increased the gap a bit more. He could drive very, very comfortably and still take this race win. And as long as he doesn't make a mistake, he should be fine. He's been faultless from start to finish. He qualified where he needed to. He made some great moves as well. I wonder where Carl would have been if he didn't have to do the one stop. But, you know, that makes the league a little bit more interesting with the two-stop rule for the top three. Matter will have to do it next week, as well as Brandon and Kyle by the looks of things. Bankai will get away with it for the first time. But anyway, here comes Matter. The champion from last season is looking to carry on where he left off last season. He wins in Brazil for round 2 of VSL. Brandon is going to head towards the final corner now. He's got Kyle breathing down his neck. Kyle's going to get seconds because of penalties, but Brandon's going to get P2 on track. Yeah, Kyle second, Brandon third. I think Brandon's going to stay there unless Bankai gets on penalties. No, Brandon third, Bankai fourth. Akon and Redmat fighting on track. It's going to be a photo finish. Jesus. So Redman finishes 5th. Akon 6th, I have to say. Decent showing for Akon. And I was falling on a lap, so I think the hot lap curse is broken. And, you know, it's not cursed, which is good now. Newgarden in 7th. He gets more points than last week, actually. Ryan Berry 8th. Ahmed in 9th. J-Luke gets 10th. On debut, Neil's in 11th, Ryan gets final point, and the one that gets the fastest lap point is... Let me have a look. Fastest lap point goes to Redmat, so he gets 2 extra points. So there we go. So that has been your Brazilian Grand Prix. We're just waiting for Yuri to come across the line, but he is doing some donuts. Or he might have got a puncher, I don't know. But he's trying to come across the line anyway. In style, as Yuri often does. No, he retires, okay. I think he'll still be classified, though. But we'll have to find out. As, typical Matter dressed as Brendan Lee. With a white suit. But anyway, some good performances. Who's been your driver today? We got an all-British podium as well. Great to see. And that's where we're heading to next week, the British Grand Prix. So I think majority of these guys in the field today would want to get a home win. Who's going to get the home win? We'll find out next week. Anyway, let's get your results in. Matter in first. Carl in second, Brandon third, Bankai fourth, Redbat fifth, Akon sixth, Newgarden in seventh, Ryan in eighth, Ahmed in ninth, Jamie in 10th, Niels 11th, Ryan 12th, Heat 13th, Ben in 14th, Kev 15th, Yuri 16th, Gavin 17th, Brad 18th, Dave 19th, and Risky 20th. And every single car is classified. So yes, every single car made it through to the checker flag, even though some of them were a few laps down. But that is a first. That is the first time I've commentated on a full 20-car grid finish. So bravo, guys. Well done. You made me proud. Anyway, we'll be back next week, same time, same place at 8 PM, maybe slightly before, to go through the standings. Will any of the guys in the top 3 have a good race this week? Next week, those 3 will have to start on the 2-stop. Bankai and Renmat, they'll be back to 1-stop again, but they could be the ones to watch next week. I've been Jess. I'll let you enjoy the rest of your evening, and we will see you next week for the British Grand Prix for round 3 on March the 3rd. Have a good evening, everybody, and goodbye.